everyone, and welcome back to Practice English with Podcast. I'm Jessica.
And I'm Adam. Thanks for joining us today for another episode where we help you improve your English while discussing topics that matter in daily life.
That's right. And today we're talking about something I think everyone can relate to, procrastination. You know that feeling when you have something important to do, but you just don't do it?
Exactly. Procrastination is when you delay or postpone tasks even when you know you should do them. It's something that affects students, professionals, and pretty much everyone at some point.
Before we dive in, let me explain a few keywords we'll use today. Procrastination comes from the Latin word meaning to put off until tomorrow. When you procrastinate, you're basically saying, I'll do it later, but later never comes.
We'll also talk about motivation. That's the feeling that makes you want to do something. And productivity, how much work you actually get done. These are all connected to procrastination.
So, Adam, I have to confess, I used to be a terrible procrastinator in university. I would wait until the last minute to write papers, and then I'd be so stressed.
Really? I wouldn't have guessed that about you. You seem so organized now.
Well, that's because I learned some strategies that actually work. And that's what we want to share with our listeners today, practical tips that can really help.
Let's start by understanding why people procrastinate. It's not just about being lazy, which is a common misconception.
That's a great point. A misconception is a wrong idea about something. Many people think procrastinators are just lazy, but that's not true.
Research shows there are several reasons why we procrastinate. One big reason is fear of failure. Sometimes we're so worried about not doing well that we don't even start.
Oh, that makes so much sense. It's like thinking, if I don't try, I can't fail. But that's not really helping us, is it?
Exactly. Another reason is perfectionism. Some people want everything to be perfect, so they keep waiting for the perfect time or the perfect plan.
I can relate to that too. I used to think I needed the perfect conditions to start working. The right mood, the right music, everything organized just so.
And sometimes we procrastinate because a task seems too big or overwhelming. When something feels impossible, our brain's natural response is to avoid it.
That's called overwhelm, when something feels like too much to handle. But here's the thing, avoiding the task doesn't make it go away.
Right. In fact, procrastination often makes us feel worse. We feel guilty, anxious, and stressed. It becomes a negative cycle.
A cycle is when something repeats over and over. So you procrastinate, then feel bad, then procrastinate more because you feel bad. It's not a fun place to be.
Now let's talk about strategies that actually work. The first one is called the 2-minute rule.
Ooh, I love this one. It's so simple but so effective. Adam, can you explain how it works?
Sure. The rule is, if something takes less than 2 minutes to do it right now. Don't put it off. Don't add it to your to-do list. Just do it immediately.
For example, if you need to reply to a quick email, wash a dish, or make a phone call that will only take 2 minutes, just do it now.
The genius of this rule is that it prevents small tasks from building up into a big, overwhelming list.
Exactly. Because what happens when you have 20 small tasks on your list? It feels huge and scary, even though each task is actually quick and easy.
And there's a psychological benefit, too. When you complete these small tasks immediately, you get a sense of accomplishment. You feel productive.
Accomplishment is that good feeling when you finish something, and productive means you're getting things done efficiently.
Plus, your environment stays cleaner and more organized when you handle small tasks right away.
I started using this rule last year, and it's amazing how much cleaner my desk stays. Before, I would think, I'll organize these papers later. But later never came.
The key is to be honest about the 2-minute limit. Don't use this rule for tasks that will obviously take longer.
Right. Don't try to write a whole report using the 2-minute rule. That's not realistic.
Our second strategy is about dealing with those big, overwhelming tasks that make us want to procrastinate.
This is so important. Big tasks are like trying to eat a whole elephant, impossible. But you can eat an elephant one bite at a time.
That's a great metaphor, Jessica. When you have a big project, break it down into smaller, manageable pieces.
Let's say you need to write a research paper. Instead of thinking, I need to write a 10-page paper, break it down into steps.
Right. Step 1 might be Choose a topic. Step 2 could be find 5 sources. Step 3 might be write an outline.
Each of these steps feels much more manageable than write a paper. Manageable means something you can actually handle or do.
And here's a tip. Make your first step really, really small. Instead of research the topic, maybe start with open Google and search for one article.
I love that. Make it so small that it's almost silly not to do it. Once you start, momentum builds.
Momentum is like when something starts moving and keeps moving. Once you begin, it's easier to continue.
There's actually science behind this. It's called the Zeigarnik effect. Our brains want to complete tasks we've started.
So even if you only do 5 minutes of work, your brain will keep thinking about it and wanting to finish it.
Exactly. You're basically tricking your brain into wanting to work on the task.
Strategy number 3 is the Pomodoro technique. This is one of my personal favorites.
Mine too. Pomodoro means tomato in Italian. The technique is named after those tomato-shaped kitchen timers.
Here's how it works. You set a timer for 25 minutes and work on one task with complete focus. No distractions, no checking your phone, no email.
You set a timer for 25 minutes and work on one task with complete focus. No distractions, no checking your phone, no email.
When the timer rings, you take a 5-minute break. Then you do another 25-minute session. After 4 sessions, you take a longer break of 15 to 30 minutes.
The beauty of this technique is that 25 minutes doesn't feel overwhelming. Anyone can focus for 25 minutes, right?
And knowing there's a break coming makes it easier to resist distractions. If you want to check Instagram, you tell yourself, I can do that during my break.
During your work time, keep a piece of paper nearby. If you think of something else you need to do, just write it down quickly and get back to your task.
That's called capturing the thought. You're not ignoring it, but you're not letting it interrupt your focus either.
And the breaks are important too. Get up, stretch, look out the window, drink some water. Give your brain a real rest.
I find that after a few Pomodoro sessions, I often want to keep working even when the timer rings.
The hardest part is just starting.
That's the power of momentum again. Once you're in the flow of working, it feels good to continue.
And here's a bonus tip. If you finish your task before the 25 minutes are up, use the remaining time to review your work or prepare for the next task.
Our fourth strategy is about your environment, the place where you work or study.
This is huge. Your environment can either help you focus or make procrastination more likely.
Think about it. If you're trying to study, but your phone is right next to you, what's going to happen?
You'll probably check your phone. It's just too tempting. So the solution is to remove temptations from your workspace.
Put your phone in another room, or at least turn it face down and put it in a drawer. Close unnecessary browser tabs on your computer.
If you're easily distracted by noise, find a quieter place to work, or use noise-canceling headphones or white noise.
White noise is a steady, gentle sound that helps block out other distracting noises.
Also, make sure you have everything you need before you start working. If you have to keep getting up to find things, it breaks your concentration.
I learned this the hard way. I used to start working, then realize I needed a pen, then a calculator, then some water. By the time I had everything, I'd lost my focus.
Another environmental tip, have a dedicated workspace if possible. Your brain will start to associate that space with productivity.
Associate means to connect one thing with another in your mind. So when you see your workspace, your brain thinks, time to work.
Even if you live in a small space, try to have one corner or area that's just for work or study.
And keep it clean and organized. A messy space can make your mind feel messy too.
Strategy number 5 is about rewards. Humans are motivated by rewards. It's just how our brains work.
So true. But here's the key. The reward has to come after you complete the task, not before.
Right. Don't watch Netflix first and then promise to study later. Study first, then watch Netflix as a reward.
And make sure the reward matches the task. For a small task, a small reward. For a big accomplishment, a bigger reward.
For example, After finishing a difficult homework assignment, maybe you treat yourself to your favorite coffee or spend an hour doing something you enjoy.
I like to make lists and check things off when I complete them. That little check mark is actually a small reward for my brain.
That's a great point. Sometimes the satisfaction of completion is reward enough.
But for bigger tasks, you might plan something special. After finishing a big project, maybe go out for dinner or buy something you've been wanting.
Just be careful not to use rewards that are counterproductive. If you're trying to eat healthier, don't reward yourself with junk food.
Counterproductive means working against your goals instead of helping them.
And here's an advanced tip. You can also reward the process, not just the outcome.
What do you mean by that?
Well, instead of only rewarding yourself when you finish a project, reward yourself for doing the work. Like, I worked for 2 hours today, so I earned this reward.
Oh, that's smart. Because sometimes projects take a long time and you need motivation along the way.
Now let's talk about something important. What happens when you slip up and procrastinate anyway?
Because let's be honest, everyone procrastinates sometimes. It's normal and human.
Exactly. The key is not to be too hard on yourself. Self-criticism often makes procrastination worse.
Self-criticism is when you're very harsh and negative toward yourself. Like saying, I'm so stupid, or I'll never change.
Instead, treat yourself with compassion. Think about what you would say to a good friend in the same situation.
You probably wouldn't say, you're terrible and lazy. You'd say something like, it's okay, everyone struggles sometimes. What can we do to help you get back on track?
And try to understand why you procrastinated. Were you tired? Overwhelmed? Distracted? Understanding the cause helps you prevent it next time.
Also, remember that progress isn't always linear. Linear means in a straight line. Real progress goes up and down with good days and challenging days.
And the most important thing is to get back to your good habits as soon as possible. Don't wait until Monday or next month. Start again right now.
And celebrate small wins. If you used to procrastinate for days and now you only procrastinated for a few hours, that's actually progress.
Let's talk about building long-term anti-procrastination habits. These strategies work best when they become automatic.
Automatic means you do them without thinking, like brushing your teeth. That's when real change happens.
Start by choosing just 1 or 2 strategies from what we've discussed. Don't try to change everything at once.
Right. If you try to use all 5 strategies immediately, you might feel overwhelmed and give up.
Pick the strategy that feels most appealing to you or the one that addresses your biggest procrastination trigger.
A trigger is something that causes a particular behavior. So your procrastination trigger might be feeling overwhelmed or being in a distracting environment.
Practice your chosen strategy consistently for at least 2 weeks. Research suggests it takes time to form new habits.
And be patient with yourself. Changing lifelong patterns takes time. You didn't become a procrastinator overnight, and you won't stop overnight either.
Also, track your progress. Keep a simple journal or use an app to note when you use your anti-procrastination strategies.
Track means to monitor or keep records of something. When you see your progress written down, it's very motivating.
And remember, the goal isn't perfection. The goal is improvement. Even small improvements in productivity can make a big difference in your life.
Before we wrap up, I think it's interesting to note that different cultures view time and productivity differently.
That's a great point. In some cultures, there's more emphasis on relationships and flexibility, while others prioritize strict schedules and efficiency.
Neither approach is right or wrong, they're just different. But understanding these differences can help you find strategies that work for your personality and background.
For example, if you come from a culture that values community, you might find it helpful to work on tasks with friends or in study groups.
And if you're from a background that emphasizes individual achievement, you might prefer working alone with personal rewards and goals.
The key is to adapt these strategies to fit your own style and values, not to force yourself into a system that feels unnatural.
Wow, we've covered so much today. Let's quickly recap the 5 strategies we discussed.
First was the 2-minute rule. if it takes less than 2 minutes, do it now. Second was breaking down big tasks into smaller, manageable pieces.
Third was the Pomodoro technique, 25 minutes of focused work followed by short breaks. Fourth was optimizing your environment to reduce distractions and increase focus.
And fifth was using rewards to motivate yourself, but only after completing tasks, not before.
We also talked about being kind to yourself when you have setbacks and focusing on building long-term habits rather than expecting immediate perfection.
The most important thing to remember is that overcoming procrastination is a skill you can develop. It takes practice, but it's absolutely possible.
And remember, you don't have to use all these strategies at once. Pick one that resonates with you and try it for a week or two.
Exactly. Small, consistent actions lead to big changes over time.
Before we go, we'd love to hear from you. Which of these strategies sounds most helpful for your situation? Have you tried any of them before?
You can let us know in the comments on our YouTube channel. We read every comment and love hearing about your experiences.
And if you found this episode helpful, please consider subscribing and sharing it with friends who might benefit from these strategies.
Thanks so much for listening to Practice English with Podcast. Remember, every time you listen, you're not only learning English, but also learning valuable life skills.
Until next time, keep practicing, keep improving, and most importantly, stop procrastinating on your English learning.
See you in the next episode.